Hi everybody. So we have made a book with a paper bag. We have made a hanging book. We have made a zigzag book. We have also made an unfolding book. There are two more ways that I'm going to show you guys how to make a book. And the first one is using old envelopes. Now, you mustn't go out and buy loads of new envelopes just to make this book. There are loads of ways you can do it. I just happen to have these lying around. So the first thing that you are going to need is envelopes, sellotape to hold them all together. And if you have some, you don't have to use this. I've got some decorative tape as well. You don't need this. You can absolutely decorate your book with felt tips or paints or whatever way you choose. I just happen to have this lying around. So I'm going to move the camera down slightly so that you can see. Oh, got a bit of fluff here. So that you can see what I'm doing. The first thing that I am going to do is I'm going to make sure that all of my envelopes are the same, facing the same way around. So all my triangle pieces, the flappy bits, they're all facing the same way, okay? Now, I'm going to do this 2 envelopes at a time, so if you watch really, really carefully. So I'm going to take my first envelope and my second envelope, and I am going to match them up so that they're on top of each other. And I'm going to use some sellotape to attach them together. So the triangle side is here. I'm going to go opposite the triangle, okay? And I'm going to put a piece of sellotape across the end. This one's a bit too long, so I'm just going to trim it. And I'm going to fold it over. Now, if you want your book to be super secure, you can also open it up and put another piece of sellotape on the inside. And it doesn't matter particularly if this isn't the perfect length, because you can cover it up later on. So at the moment, I have got 2 envelopes attached together. And it's starting to look like a book already. Hi everybody, this is the last book that I'm going to show you how to make. Now this is a really good idea for you guys if you don't actually have lots and lots of crafting materials at home. I'm going to make, I've just tilted my camera down so that you can see what I am up to. I have got a ruler here and I am going to make a selection of little lifter flaps to stick into my notebook, and I want them all to be the same size, so this is quite important. I am going to use my ruler and I'm going to make them 8 centimeters big each. So I'm going to do a little mark at 8 centimeters. This is good practice of your times table. So 8, 16, 24, and I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to do 8, 16, 24, and I'm just going to draw lines across. And that means I know where to cut. You could do this by folding, but it's always good to have a bit of maths practice. So I'm going to cut along the lines that I have made. And what you should end up with are 2 pieces of card which are exactly the same size. It doesn't matter if this is card or paper. We are going to stick these into our books. We're going to fold them quickly first. It's ever so simple, and I'm just going to show you how. So my paper has 2 sides to it. You can choose whichever side you like, and we are going to make firstly a very small fold at the bottom. So I'm going to show you how. You're just going to fold it over maybe 1 centimetre or so. Doesn't particularly matter. Now if you have a ruler, what you can do is you can make sure it's clean so you don't mark the paper, scrape it along the fold, and that will mean that your fold is really nice and sharp. So sometimes when you fold bits of card it can be quite tricky. You're going to fold it over. Now your next thing that you're going to do is you are going to take the other side, it's easier from the side here, and you're going to slip it inside the other fold. Okay, you can make these, they look a bit like those mini matchbooks that you sometimes get with all the matches inside. You can make these as big or as small as you want. I've made mine quite small so that I can stick lots on one page, but it's entirely up to you. And I've seen this once where a child made 7 little matchbooks, stuck them in their notebook, and then when you open them up you can write or draw inside them, and they did one for every day of the week, and they used it like a little diary, which I thought was really, really nice, and they decorated it all. So I've made one, I'm just going to make one more. You again. So I'm literally going to just turn them over, pop a little bit of glue on the back, and stick them in. And of course you can decorate all around the edges. You can fill these up with whatever you want. There we go. And obviously you can add as many lifter flaps into your book as you like, and you can decorate all around the edges. You can write around the edges and draw a picture on the inside. You could, if you were going to do the diary idea, write the day of the week on the front as well, like the other child that I know did. All you need for this one is a single sheet of paper and a pair of scissors. This is a really simple one. I've got just a black piece of paper here, but you can use any type you like. I just happen to have black lying around. So the first thing you need to do is fold your paper in half lengthways, okay? Make sure you match those corners up and press it down really hard. So, hold on a sec. There we go. So, you folded it in half lengthways. So I've got a nice crease across the middle. Then I'm going to unfold it and I'm going to fold it in half the other way. Again, making sure I match those corners up. Now I've got a cross in the middle of my paper. Now I'm going to fold it again across here and across here. Okay, now you can see when I unfold it that I have got a piece of paper which is folded into 2, 4, 6, 8 pieces. Now I'm going to draw on my piece of paper to show you. You're going to make one cut, but I'm going to draw on my piece of paper. You don't need to draw on yours. I'm just showing you so that you can see. So you're going to draw. You're going to cut from this cross here all the way to this cross here, okay? I'm going to draw a line on it just to show you. Hopefully you can see where I have drawn that pencil line. So I'm going to cut all the way from here, all the way to here. Now, you might want an adult to help you with this because you're cutting in the middle of a piece of paper. Just be super, super careful. So you're not going to cut all the way along, you're just going to cut. Can you see where I've made that hole there? So you're going to have one piece of paper. The bigger the piece of paper you have for this, the better. But don't worry if you've only got a small piece of paper because you can stick them together. So here we go. Now, this is the bit where you just have to watch really closely, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to put your piece of paper down and you can see in the middle where the folds are. I'm going to pick those up, okay? Pick them up like that. And then I'm going to pick it up and fold it like that so that I've got a cross in the middle. I'll just do that again so you can see. So I've got my paper flat. I'm going to pick it up in the middle. And then I'm going to push my hands together so I've got a little cross. Okay, now at this point you might want to put your paper down because if you sort of just, oop, I'll do that again. You pick it up, push your hands together, and then if you are very careful, you can just join them together. And now you want to do this ever so carefully. I'm doing it quickly so that I can show you. If you just sort of squish it down ever so carefully, you will be able to create your own book. Okay, now mine's a little bit wonky because I did it really quickly to show you. But if you take your time, you can fold those pages really neatly. And there you have a folding book. Okay, everyone, I have got one last tutorial for you on how to make a book. And this one, again, you can decorate it any way you like. It's completely up to you. I've just got some scrap paper to show you guys with, but you can obviously use whatever you have lying around at home. Newspaper's a really nice one for this, actually, because it's really unusual to see all the patterns and the pictures and the writing on it. And let me find, I have got some bits of paper here. Where have they gone? Lost my paper. Ah, here we go. So I'll use black paper just to show you. I'm going to only do 2 pages in my book because it's just quicker and easier to show you. But I've got 2 pieces of paper here. I am literally just going to fold them in half. So make sure those corners meet up. Press them down. You can use the ruler trick if you like to make them meet up. Now, when you open it up, this part you will need an adult to help you with because I don't want you to hurt yourselves. You might have a hole puncher at home, but if you don't, I don't have a hole puncher. So I am going to show you this method, but guys, you absolutely must have somebody to help you with this because I don't want you to injure yourselves. So I am going to draw, and I'm going to do this really lightly. You might not be able to see it. On the fold, you can see I've got a fold down the middle, and these you don't have to measure these, but you're going to draw 3 little dots, one in the middle and one at either side. Okay, you can see my 3 little dots. The ones on either side, don't put them right at the edge, and I'll show you why in a minute. So I've got my 3 dots. The next thing to do is, and you've got to be really careful how you do this, because if your pages slide about, if I slide my paper about, my hole's going to be in the wrong place. So absolutely, definitely get an adult's help with this particular part. You are going to place a hole in each of those 3 places. Don't go using scissors or anything like that. What you can do is place a piece of blue tack underneath and use a pencil so your fingers are out of the way, or something soft. I've got a sponge here. It is clean. And I am going to use a pencil. So I'm going to have 3 holes. I'm going to spread my fingers well out of the way, and I'm literally just going to put my holes like one. Do not do this on your parents' best dining table, children. Please ask before you do it. Okay, so I've got my 3 holes there. Nice and safe, no injuries. And the next thing that you need is a nice piece of string. Well, any piece of string really. Side. So I'm going to hold my book this way so that my pages are folding sort of downwards. And as you can see, I've got my 3 holes there. I am going to start with my piece of string, and I am going to go down through this middle hole. Again, you might want to put your squishy thing. I've got a sponge. You might want to use that again, and I'm just going to poke it through with a pencil, and when I see it poking out the other side, I can pull it through. Now, you don't want to pull it all the way through. You want like a little tail hanging out like that, and you'll see why in a minute. So this is the outside of my book, and this is the inside. So I've started from the outside and I've gone in through the middle hole. Now you can, if you want, put a little bit of tape just to hold that in place. You don't have to, but sometimes it can stop your tail going through. So you can now see that on the inside I've got my string coming out. And now I'm going to go to one of my edgy holes. That's the technical term, edgy holes. And I'm going to take my string and I'm going to go back out. So this is the inside. I'm going to go back towards the outside, okay? And again, fingers nicely out of the way. And I'm just going to poke it through with a pencil. Okay, you can pull it. If you've used the tape, you can pull it a little bit tighter now because it's not going to come through. So you've now got a little loop of string there. Now this time, you're going to skip the middle hole. You're going to go all the way over to the other hole, and you're going to go back in through that hole. And again, fingers well out of the way. I would use a sort of half blunt pencil for this, because then you're going to avoid any injuries. You're going to put it all the way through. And your final thing is to come back, and you're going to go through that middle hole again. Okay. So now what you will have is a book with the strings coming out of the back. And now that I'm done, I don't need to worry about this coming loose, so I can take my sellotape off, peel it off really gently so I don't spoil my book. And I am going to, now I wouldn't advise cutting these really, really short, okay? I'm going to cut them maybe 7 or 8 centimetres, and I'm going to tie them in a double knot. If you are really creative and crafty, you can make a nice pretty bow. And if you have, I haven't got many pages in this book, so I need to be careful I don't pull it too tight or it will rip. I'm going to put a little bow.